story that we're learning about the FBI director in the final week of the Obama administration. We learned the FBI director is under investigation. The Inspector General, the IG, wants to know why and how James Comey handled the whole Hillary Clinton email investigation in the final week of the campaign. Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz, chair of the House Oversight Committee, is with me now to talk about this and some ethics issues as well. How are you, sir? And Happy New Year, and thanks for coming back here. Okay, a week away from the inauguration, now you get this story. Why do you think it happened this way?
Oh, I think it's the right thing to do. Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General for the Department of Justice, he's going to not only look at what happened at the FBI, but also at the Department of Justice. Remember, there's still questions about why is it that Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, met with the spouse of somebody who is under an investigation. So there's lots to look at there. There's a conflict of interest within the FBI, or people who are taking hundreds of thousands of dollars in a political account. So there's a lot of questions that I think there's questions on both sides.
There's a suggestion as to why Comey would take on these letters in the final 8 days of the campaign, suggesting perhaps that that would play into Democratic concerns that, listen, should have stayed out, and your decisions that you made publicly in the final 8 days influenced the outcome. What's your view on that?
Well, I think Hillary Clinton lost for a variety of reasons, in large part because Donald Trump was such a formidable opponent and candidate. But it was a factor for a lot of people. And the reality is when Mr. Comey testified before our committee in July, and when he testified before the House Judiciary Committee, he made promises and assurances that if they did open this investigation and they were spending time, money, and resources, that they would let us know that. So he had a duty and an obligation to do that. Now, the Democrats are highly critical of that, but he did have a duty to do that. And if he hadn't done it, Republicans would have been yelling and screaming, hey, you had a duty and you made a promise under oath to tell us.
Well, it is true that that airport meeting in Arizona, once it went public, that dragged a lot of people into the story. Now the other story, and you want the head of the Office of Government Ethics to come and talk to you. Now, this was a department that sent out a series of tweets, correct, in late November that was praising the decisions that Donald Trump was making about his businesses. Now, why is this such a big deal from an agency that, frankly, we don't hear a lot about or from?
Well, we want to talk to them because they're up for reauthorization, and the Oversight Committee has jurisdiction on that. We have been trying to talk to him, invited him to come in and just meet with us. He refuses to meet with Congress. So there is no other way to do it other than to kind of force him to come in by doing these transcribed interviews. I wish he would have just voluntarily came in. Before even any of this Trump involvement came up, we had invited him in. But if you go back into the campaign, he was also making some real statements, and his press person was making statements about Hillary Clinton and the foundation. They had not done an investigation yet. They were coming to conclusions. All I really ask, Bill, is I want the person who heads up the Office of Government Ethics to be ethical. And right now, I don't see that. I see him taking positions that he has not even looked at. He seems to be in the spin room from the Democratic side of the aisle. He's an Obama donor, and I have a lot of questions for him.
You have the authority. Can you take away money, yes or no, from that part of government?
Well, the Congress as a whole will fund a department and agency through the appropriations process, but I can't just yank money from them. It's a very small agency, less than 100 people. But I have real questions about when they have private conversations. You go in to see the ethics officer, you're there to get some advice about how to structure something, not to have them go tweet and then send out emails and other things in a very public way. That's unethical for the ethics person to do that.
Let me squeeze in this comment from Joe Biden on ethics on NBC. Watch here.
President, or are you going to be a businessman? You don't do both.
Has he done enough? The Office of Government Ethics, which is nonpartisan, says what he did is meaningless.
No, I don't think he's done enough, and he may sink in the swamp. You know, if you don't drain it, you sink in it.
A quick comment on that from the Vice President in the incoming administration.
Well, first of all, to say that it's nonpartisan, he is partisan. He's donated to the Obama administration, so there's that part of the question. The other thing is, if you go look at the financial disclosures, what Donald Trump is obligated to do is that which is encoded in law. To that extent, it appears that he's done that, and that is to do the financial disclosures.
Okay.
Donald Trump is going above and beyond on all the other stuff, but if he's violating the law, somebody suggests what it is, He's already done what is required by law in doing the financial disclosure.
I'm out of time. Thank you for your time today. Jason
Thanks, Bill.
Chaffetz, talk again real soon. Thanks.